Santa Claus?
I think he's from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Silent Nick. Satan Nick.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah, it's
We're just here at HorrorCon with Thom Matthews, the legendary Thom Matthews, a.k.a. Tommy Jarvis, the guy that buoyed off Jason.
That's right.
His most known Nemesis, I believe. It's registered online. Biggest
Oh, it
Nemesis
is.
ever, Tommy Jarvis.
Oh,
Yo,
yes.
this guy is the guy that gets Jason shook. Yeah, we're just here at HorrorCon UK 2017. How are you finding the con so far?
Fantastic. Everyone was real great. It's a little bit of a long flight to get over, but well worth it. Everyone's been real nice and great turnout here. I can't wait for next year. It's going to look really great.
It's your first con in the UK, I believe.
It is. Absolutely, yeah.
And how do you find the UK fans?
Fantastic. Very polite, and they had a lot of interesting questions, and real courteous, and everyone waited in line. It's been real nice.
We like to talk a lot on this show about just like the art form of acting in general, so I'm not going to pick your brains too much about each specific part, but I just wanted to ask you, what are your earliest memories of wanting to be an actor, and how did you make the steps to become one?
Well, I was going in high school, and everyone was like asking, "What do you want to be?" And I couldn't figure it out. And they had like work experience if you wanted to be an accountant, so they could kind of guide you in that direction. And I never really had an answer. It wasn't until after out of high school that someone suggested, "Why don't you become an actor?" And there was like, "That's what I'll do," because I didn't want to be stuck in a office or on a schedule. So I started studying, and it took me about 2 years before I even started calling myself an actor, because I wasn't making any money and I wasn't working and auditioning and stuff. And then I started to get some commercials, and I got a bit role in The Woman in Red, and it just kind of took off from there. And so that's kind of how it got started. I actually started to get my SAG card. I went to work at Lorimar Productions, and they were producing Dallas and Knots Landing and Falcon Crest. So I got after 6 months of working there, the casting department knew that I wanted to become an actor. I needed my SAG card, so they gave Doris Saba, who was casting Falcon Crest, gave me a walk-on Falcon Crest. So that's how I got my SAG card.
And then you did a lot of work with Albert Pyun. You did a lot of it.
Yeah.
We loved the post-apocalyptic action movies, all that on this show. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you mentioned Nemesis earlier.
Nemesis.
I thought you were talking about Nemesis.
Yeah,
because that was one of the name of the movies that Albert directed. But yeah, I did a bunch of movies for him, and very creative. And he was, just
Marion with the cyborg eye.
Yes.
Nemesis.
Yep.
And Mean Guns with Ice-T.
Really a lot of fun, and that was a fun movie to make. And Down Twisted, and Dangerously Close, and Alien from LA.
Alien from LA.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah.
Kathy Ireland. So it's been fun.
What do you think it is about, obviously, because you've done a lot of action films, and you don't really hear about Action Con, but you hear about HorrorCon. What do you think it is about horror that makes these fans flaunt every year and go crazy for it?
I have no idea. I think it just has its own, subculture, and like I've been lucky enough to be in two of the iconic movies, and I mean, like I was telling you earlier, whenever you think of zombies eating brains, it's because of Return of the Living Dead. So it was part of pop culture at the time, and we had no idea how, it was going to be received, and how long it was going to last like this. It was just been amazing. It's been really a lot of fun.
You played Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th Part 6, is one of your most iconic roles, and you've recently been asked to come back for a couple of things. Do you want to just talk about them?
Well, they're putting together a game that a bunch of people can play online.
It looks wicked. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, it should be fun, and I'm already getting requests from the producers about when it comes out, when I can be on, so the fans can play with me and be me, and kill Jason or whatnot.
Yeah,
and they gave me a shotgun, and so I guess that's my superpower.
So you're actually going to play it online with them?
I will, yeah, sure.
Oh, that's wicked.
I'm a gamer.
I need to be there for that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's your favourite game? What are you playing at the minute?
I have War of Warriors, I think, and I used to do the combat stuff. Haven't played them in years. You get addicted, and I just had to cut myself off.
Back.
Yeah.
You start not wanting to live in the real world anymore. I want to be on Grand Theft Auto with a mansion and 10 million in the bank.
My wife's on Farmville, I think.
Yeah, you're a Farmville player.
And I used to be a Farmville player.
So that I'll keep getting requests from you now on Facebook for Farmville.
Not from me.
And can we talk a little bit about the film, the fan film, or not?
Sure. They're making a fan-based film called Never Hike Alone.
That's it.
And it's on. They have a trailer on YouTube, and they asked me to be a part of it. So we're trying to figure something out. It looks really cool. A lot of great shots. And
so you're coming back as Tommy Jarvis in a Jason fan film.
Maybe it's a secret, but maybe.
Because that needs to happen. That'll make my life, bro. I'm such a big fan of that character and your portrayal of him. Do you know what I mean? And considering Corey Feldman played him before you, that's a lot. That's a big thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sure.
Just wanted to ask you, when we were talking, you was telling us about a film called Letter to Dad that came out in 2009, and I just wanted you just to explain to the people who were watching the show just a little bit about how that came together, because there was a 15-year gap between.
There was a 15-year gap in between the reshoot we had. We had originally shot it, and then we recently recently it was a couple of years ago already that we did a reshoot 15 years later after the movie was made. The director, there was some legal issues, and the producer had passed, and so then it went into litigation, and the director ended up back in the director's possession. So it didn't have an ending because they ran out of money, so they shot the ending. And it's very unusual to have that long of a span with the same characters with a 15-year span in it to shoot an ending. So it was pretty unique in that regard. It's kind of a cool movie.
But it just shows with a bit of determination, even 15 years later, if you stick to a vision, you can still get something finished.
For sure.
What would your advice be to anyone that's wanting to get into acting now? Like, what would your advice be to someone that's wanting to get into acting, wanting to do movies or TV and that kind of thing?
Just keep at it. You have to eat, so don't stop eating, and do something. You have to have a routine in your life that you can fall back on day to day, because it's there's a lot of downtime. Whether it's whatever you do, whatever you have to do to make it work, and then just don't give up. Just keep doing it.
And what a lot of people won't know about yourself, like between making movies, you also run a huge contractor company.
I've always done construction or carpentry and stuff. Even when I was doing Return of the Living Dead, that would be my routine, and I would go back and just to have something to do, to wake up in the morning. That kept me busy, kept me a little sane, kept me real. And my grandfather worked on the sets in Hollywood, and my dad was in construction, so it was a very natural thing for me to fall into. It was easy for me, and it kind of took off, and now I have my own construction company back in LA.
And you built Ozzy Osbourne's house.
We remodeled his house a while back when he was doing MTV. The first season, if you look at it, if you go back, because how they shot it was they just rolled cameras for 6 months shooting Ozzy and the whole family. But if you go back and look at it, there's in the first season there'll be a close-up of Ozzy and then Sharon, and then the color on the back wall will be a different color, because what they did, they shot it for 6 months, and to make a half-an-hour episode, they jumped all over the place to make an episode. It was genius how they did it, but sometimes the background would change colors because we had painted it. We were there for 3 months, still working on the house. So it was very cool. Sharon and Ozzy were great. Sharon's got a lot of talent. Very, very creative person. Yeah.
So if you're not smashing it in movies, you're smashing it building the coolest houses in the world. Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, Tom. I've loved hanging out with you this weekend. We hope we can get you back to HorrorCon another time. I had to shake that hand.
Absolutely.
Because you're my dude.
Pleasure. Love to come back.
Slimehouse TV, www.slimehousetv.com and www.horrorconventions.co.uk if you want to get tickets for next year. Thom Matthews, Theo Kane, Slimehouse TV, boom.